Now I'm going to open up for support. So if you need support, unmute yourself, turn on the camera, and let's chat. And for the ones who are new, I know there were some people who came new. Please introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know what's your intention for in the Secure Parent Collective and the ages of your children. Hi, everybody. Could you please raise your hand? I'm going to help whoever I see their hands raised first. Okay, so I see Jen. Okay. Hi, Jen. How are you? I see
Hi.
Jocelyn. Welcome to the Secure Parent Collective.
Nice to meet everybody. Hope everyone's having a great Friday Eve. Um, I'm a single mom. I adopted my son on my own, and he is turning 3. He is adopted, and I adopted him from the same orphanage that I was adopted from myself.
Mm.
So we have a very special bond, and he's a wonderful, wonderful little boy, full of energy. I work full time and I have a live-in nanny with us. And he is amazing with my nanny, like a little angel, goes to bed, tells her when he wants to take a nap. But then on the weekends, when it's just me, that's not the case. And I tend to give in because I don't want to yell, I don't want to be mean, and I have such limited time with him by myself that I want to make it happy for everybody, but I know that's not the right thing because he misses his nap. He winds up sleeping in my bed, on Saturday and Sunday nights, which leads to horrible sleep for both of us because he's tossing and turning. Um, and so I want that magic that my nanny has with him, with me.
Mm. Okay, I see it. Okay, so you said that you want the magic that the nanny has. What is the magic that you think she has?
He listens to her and he respects her. And whatever she says, he's like, okay, not a problem. Like there's no tantrum. And she's not yelling. Uh, she may be a little more stern, like, what did you say, Lorenzo? Are you sure you want to do this? And he'll look at her and go, okay, you're right. Like, and he's fine. If I try the same thing, like for example, on during the week, he goes to bed at 7 o'clock. We have our same routine. He gets a bath. He does his brushing. We do the brushing of the teeth. We do books. We do prayers. He gets into bed. And then he looks at me and goes, I can't do it. And he hops out of bed. Oftentimes the nanny will be in the waiting in the hallway and she'll come in and go, Lorenzo, time to go to sleep. He hops back into bed, puts his little covers on and goes, okay, good night.
And
So
then she leaves?
and then yeah, she stays with us, so she leaves and he goes to sleep, no problem, sleeps 12 hours. On the weekends, forget it. He barely will even get into bed because he knows that she's not there to enforce bedtime. And I'm weak and I say, okay, well, come into mama's bed if that's the only way you're going to sleep and the only way I'm going to sleep, because otherwise it's a standoff. He just stands up and starts screaming if I try and force that. I had a friend who said, well, get a gate. And even if he opens a door, you leave him there screaming. I'm like, I won't do it. I will not do that to my kid. So I need something better than just giving in or caging him in. That's just not an
Okay.
answer for me.
Okay. So you have a 3-year-old boy.
Mhm.
When did you adopt him? How old was he when you
He
adopted
was
him?
5 months old.
5 months. So he was a baby. Okay.
Yes.
So you have a boy. For 5 months, he lived in an orphanage
Yes.
that has many caregivers coming in and out to take
Yes.
care of the kids. Okay. So he has trauma.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we both
Yeah.
do because
Okay.
we're both adopted. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
I have sympathy for the trauma, which is
okay.
why I won't do anything too aggressive to to not have him trust me.
I get it. Okay. Okay. So before we start, I want to set a coaching container here to let you know what to expect from coaching. Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So coaching is not like, oh, you come and tell me your question and I give you a microwave answer. That's not coaching. Coaching is I'm going to dive into your personal experience in your possibly in your subconscious mind. In one-on-one coaching, I have a full hour to do that with the parent. We don't have that here, but I'm going to do with what the time allows. And for that, I'm going to be asking questions because it is very important to explore what's going on inside of you before the strategies of what to do for
Yeah.
him to stay in bed with me and not with nanny. Okay?
Yeah,
Is that
that
okay?
works.
Okay. And I promise you that everything is interconnected towards the goal of, okay, how we are going to help them feel more at ease with me.
Absolutely. I read not super extensively, but somewhat extensively on trauma and connection and attachment. And I want to put a foundation down for my son that allows him to have good attachment with adults when he's an adult. I don't want him to have any anxious or separation anxiety or avoidant tendencies. So I really am invested to know, what methods I can use to make sure that he is set up for success as an adult. Ultimately, right now, I mean, if you told me, hey, let him sleep in your bed and that's the way to go, I'll suffer, I'll do it. But I know that's not the answer. And I know there's something better in between.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. You will decide that for
Yeah.
yourself once we explore your internal experience. Okay. When I'm going to ask you a question to explore more that internal experience. When you tell your son to go to bed and he's in fact not settling down, and then you witness the nanny coming towards him, telling him, hey, it's time for bed, and he goes to bed, how do you feel inside?
Oh, like a horrible mom that can't control her kid, that,
Mhm.
that there's a potential bigger problem that could happen later on. If he's not going to listen to me as an authority figure, as a mother at 3, what's going to happen when he's 10, when he's 15? And if I don't establish something now, I feel like I'm setting us both up for a disaster later.
Okay, I get it. And by the way, this is something that is important for all of us, not just for Jen. So thank you for holding space for her and for staying connected to this time with her. So, okay. So when you say that, I can imagine what would happen when he's 10. If the thing that you're imagining or you can imagine happens, what would it be?
Well, I mean, I, I appreciate everybody here listening to this story. I have a sister who my mom could never, discipline, and her life went in a very poor direction. And so in my mind, I associate, not listening to your parents and kind of like, letting your child run you with the potential to not be, successful as an adult and not be able to pay your rent and all of that. So I want to make sure that my son has the respect for his mom so that he can be a successful adult. Because in the end,
Do you
it's just
see, do you see where your mind is going? Do you see you're catastrophizing
oh yeah,
the experience? And you know what? I want to normalize this because this is something that a lot of us parents live, including myself, that our our son just not going to bed with us. We go on to, he's not gonna pay his rent. He's gonna ruin his life. He's going to end up in jail. We catastrophize.
yeah.
The second thing that I hear here is that you, I hear judgments towards yourself. If he doesn't go to bed with me, like with my voice, then that means I'm a bad mom. That
Yeah.
means I don't have control.
Well, I have a guilt
Okay.
of, I have a nanny because I have to work, right? And it's like this big cycle. So I've created this situation, right? And I'm happy that he has somebody that takes very good care of him, but you have that guilt going, what if I were able to spend more time with him and then he would be listening to me? Like it's that balance of, well, you have to have daycare and a caretaker or a partner, somebody. But I chose to do this on my own. So because I don't have a partner, I have a nanny who's wonderful. But because I have the nanny, he is responding to her authority more than me. So it's a guilt.
Okay. Where do you feel that guilt in your body?
I feel it between my heart and my brain because it's a very like it's an emotional reaction, but then I process like, okay, well, why am I feeling this? And I rationalize with
You
my head.
rationalize your feeling.
Yeah,
So it feels here in your chest. Would you allow me to do a little exercise with you?
yeah,
And the intention is to see what's beneath the guilt. Okay? Because
yeah,
guess what? I promise you everything is interconnected because
yeah.
from that guilt and the other and these judgments and projections that you're doing from there is that you are parenting your son right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So you can close your eyes if you feel safe to do so. You
Okay.
know, if that guilt had a voice, what would that guilt be saying to you?
Did I make the right choice to have a child on my own?
Is that what guilt is telling you?
That's what guilt is telling me. Have I done the right thing where, you know, other mothers who don't have to work or they have a partner, are they experiencing this? Or is
Okay.
it just me?
So beneath that guilt, there is regret. Is that what you're telling me? Is that a tender feeling for you?
It's like a question if I did the right thing by my son. Did my desire to have a child supersede the ideal situation for a child to have, right?
Mhm,
Which would be two
mhm.
parents, which, you have
Okay.
that guilt of, I did this because I wanted to have a child. And now that I have the child, did I set him up for success by not having a partner?
Okay. So that guilt is rooted in fear
Yeah.
of maybe potentially making the wrong choice of adopting, being a single mom.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's scary because I fought for years to have my son, for years. And now that I have him, I'm going, well, did I do the right thing? Like, was I meant to do this on my own? You
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
and there is an alternative, right? I can't push a button and a partner like appears, but
And you know what? Underneath that, there is a belief. I want to go to the belief because from that belief is that you are creating your parenting experience. Okay.
okay,
So there is guilt, and beneath that guilt, there is doubt, and there is a sense of fear of, I wonder if having a child was the right move
yeah,
or was the right thing because I'm a single mom. Okay. I'm going to do an exercise to unveil those that deeper subconscious belief that you have. Okay.
okay,
So it's not judgment, it's judgment free. It's just part of what I do in coaching. So let's just say that there is a that let's just say that in fact you made the wrong choice by having your son being a single. Okay. It's not that I believe that. This is an
no,
exercise.
yeah,
Okay. So let's just say that's the fact. What does that say about you as a person? I'm looking for I am statements.
If that was a fact, that would mean I am selfish.
Mhm.
That would be, I guess, the fear behind it. Like,
Okay.
did I make
Anything
a
else?
selfish decision?
Anything else? For example, there are some parents who say, hey, I regret having my third baby, or I regret being a single mom. And then their rooted belief for some of them is, I'm not capable of doing it on my own, or I'm not capable of having three kids instead of one.
Hmm. I think I got past the not capable part.
Okay.
I think I might have overshot it, to be
Okay.
honest,
Okay.
because I had such an attitude before I had my son of I can overcome at anything. I can do this, I can do that. And I got humbled when I had my son
Okay.
because I realized I could do it, but my life as I knew it altered. So I know I can do it. We've done it. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. I want to make sure that I don't want to have my son in 20 years go, why did you have me by yourself? You had a
Mm,
nanny raise me. You, you worked all the time and me have to justify, well, I worked all the time because I'm a single mom.
hmm. Okay, Jen. So this is what I see. I see that you are a wonderful mom who is trying to do the right thing. And I see that you have a belief about yourself that is driving all your parenting interactions with your son. And there is a subconscious belief that you are a selfish person.
In this instance, yes. Normally, no. Like, but with this, you have to think, I'm thinking for somebody else, right? Like, I don't want my son to turn around and go, why didn't I have a dad? Why did you work so much? Why this, why that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not that you are a selfish person. There is a subconscious belief that if I work and I'm not a mother at the time I'm working, then that means I am selfish. If I have the support of a nanny, that means I am selfish. If I have to leave the house and leave my son, that means I am selfish. You are connecting that belief of I am selfish with the things that you do. You are carrying a big weight right now,
Yeah.
a big weight that when you're working, you feel selfish working. Hey, I
Oh,
should be
yeah.
done, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or when you see the nanny redirecting your son a lot easier, then you feel selfish for, hey, taking all this time away from my son. Then that means that you are filtering the things that you're witnessing in your parenting dynamic with your son, with the nanny, through that lens. That's the meaning that you are giving to your experience.
Yeah. You put it in a very succinct way. And I would have these thoughts, like, if I'm taking a walk, like I try and get to the root of my feeling, but not as succinctly as you just like led me to. Like, why do I feel bad? You know,
It's not a feeling, it's a belief. You are believing that if you do things for yourself, that means you're selfish.
yeah.
Okay? If you work on your professional development, that means you're selfish. If you have help, that means you're selfish. And then you are attaching what's happening with the nanny. He listens to her pastor. Yeah, like you wrote that on yourself, Jen, because you're so selfish and you're thinking about yourself instead of being with yourself.
Yeah.
And
That's,
then
yeah, that's the belief.
that takes you to catastrophize and to say, hey, if he's going to grow up to not acknowledge me, you're saying as an authority, but in my from my professional experience, I think he's more towards he's not going to acknowledge me as his mother. So he's not going to allow me to guide him.
Yes.
Because if I believe I'm selfish, he might be believing I don't care about him because I'm selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the the way out is to work through these beliefs. So when you show up for your son in that situation where your son does not settle down with you as easy with the nanny, because it's possible if he is with her full time, that he's developed another different bond with her than with you. And that's understandable. But that doesn't mean because you're selfish or about mom, or he doesn't recognize you as mom. You
No,
know,
you're right. Like it's different.
he's just in the habit of following her instructions.
Yes. And I,
Okay.
on the weekends, go out of my way to be like this fun parent and present, and we're doing all these things. And it's
And
because,
that's great, but it's costing you something.
yes, my
That
sanity.
that guilt and that belief I'm selfish is costing you over pouring yourself towards your son on the weekends and not leaving anything left for you, and you're depleted at Sunday
Yeah.
because you are parenting not from a secure way, but from that fear and guilt of I am selfish. So I have to prove to my son I'm not selfish by overly showing up for him doing the
Yes.
and,
And
and
being
not
and saying,
uh-huh,
okay,
and
you,
not providing the structure and the boundaries.
yes,
So
100%.
really, we really what will help you move towards having that secure container for your son with limits, boundaries, healthy connection is to work in that belief of I am selfish. Towards a more expansive belief of what do you want to believe? What's true about you? What's true
As a,
about
as a parent or as a person.
as a person? Because this is not even as a parent. This is you just believe that about yourself when you take a space for yourself. What do you want to believe? What's the expansive belief you want to parent your child
I
on?
mean, I want to believe in my heart that I am good at being a mom, and that I have a relationship with my son that he feels secure in, and
What
that,
about this? What I do is enough. I am enough. I don't have to prove myself to my son because I am enough.
yeah,
So let's tie it back to the scenario where the nanny comes in. The nanny she's done with her job. She's just waiting to leave. You already took ownership of your motherhood role. You're just in the house, and then your son is not settling down with you. How do you see yourself interacting at that moment when
this is,
the nanny wants to come in to keep working?
I'm sorry, when she went, like at nighttime, you're
Yes,
saying?
yes, that's the thing.
So without the nanny there, like, or interact, like intervening with the nighttime
When
situation.
the the nighttime is happening, the nanny is getting ready to leave, and she sees that your son is not settling down with you as you see, and she's coming in. How do you see yourself interacting with her and your son?
Now, I would
From an expansive belief that you're enough and what you do is enough and you're a good mom.
I would ask her prior to going in there not to come in, because I don't want to have that habit of, mom, we don't listen to her. The nanny comes, even stands in the doorway and he does it. Like, we have to break that habit. So I want her to, you know, go to her room. She stays with us overnight, relax. She works really hard. And for my son to look at me and feel enough security to go, I'm going to see my mommy tomorrow. I don't need to make a ruckus. We're not going to have,
But this is
a,
the thing, he's in a pattern right now. He's in a
Yeah.
pattern expecting the nanny to come in to tell him the last good night. So
Yeah.
he's still going to wait for it, and he's still going to fight for it, and he's still going to give you a hard time the first days. Not because you're not enough and you're a selfish parent and all the limiting beliefs that we already unveiled, but because he's in the habit of waiting for the nanny to come in.
Oh yeah, it's almost a
So
game.
yeah, so the way out is you are rooted in your expansive belief that you are enough and what you do is enough.
Yes. But I
And you and then the next thing is you set the boundary with the nanny, and after that you see your child's behavior not as a reflection of that means I'm selfish because he's not responding to me as easier, but as I'm in a transition with him and he's having a hard time transitioning right now, and he's eventually going to get into the new habit of knowing that once the nanny says bye, she says bye, and he will get there. He will get there, not tomorrow, not in 2 days, but potentially not in 3 days, because he has trauma. He has trauma of having multiple caregivers coming in from his early months.
Yeah.
But he will eventually get there with consistency, love, and from your expansive beliefs that my presence is enough for my son.
So is it just I mean, listen, I get that he has to break the habit and I have to be there to help him with this. In the interim, is it just a matter of kind of waiting it out? Like just being consistent with the same bedtime pattern, not having the nanny come in and waiting for him to settle down. Because that's where I would, I've used the easy button, right? And I've had my nanny come in, she waves, he goes to bed, and the night's great, right? But if that easy button's not available,
Because the easy button is driven by guilt and a belief that you are selfish.
Yeah.
So now you are going to, yes, it's going to be the harder route, but you're going to be standing in your truth that you are not selfish, you are enough, you're a good mom. And then you are going to train your son into the new habit of just having you in the beginning of the night. It's
Okay.
going to be a transition, but it's going to be worth it at the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Because it was working great until like 2 months, until he learned how to climb out of the crib. I would put him down, not an issue, but once he had that little power of no more crib, because we took the side off, he realized he could walk, open the door, go out, try and get his toys, and it became, like a power struggle.
Okay. So remember, like he's 3. He's 3, so he's learning his power.
Oh yeah.
And it's not about overpowering him. It's about you setting the container of the healthy limit, the healthy boundary of, yeah, it's time to go to sleep. You put him back. Buy one nanny. Nanny's done with her job. You have mommy. And it's going to be a fight for the first days until he sees the habit, or until you see the habit form.
Yeah.
There is not an easy button that I can give you right now to say, hey, Jen, push this button and your son is going to go happy to bed tonight and not ask for the babysitter. The bigger work that I see here is not about developing the habit in him. It's about breaking the limiting beliefs in you.
You're right. You're right.
Hi.
Hi, can I see you?
Yeah, sorry. Because it's midnight here. Hold
It's
on.
midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, are you the parent from Singapore?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my,
Hi,
how,
hi.
what time is it over there?
It's almost 3 a.m.
I love this. How that shows your commitment. Your
I have
commitment
to.
to become a secure parent. That's amazing. How can I help
Yeah.
you today?
Okay, so as I've spoken before, I have a pair of twins. They're turning 4 this August. And um I think like the tantrum started this year. Like they'll start crying and screaming to get what they want. Yeah. Before this year, I didn't have this issue at all because I've been following you for quite some time. So I've used your method
Hey,
to speak
Celine,
to them.
so what's your
Yeah.
intention for the end of the time with me? What do you want to get out of?
Um, to learn how to communicate with them calmly because I've been using my angry voice to calm them down. But that's not very effective in the long run.
So
Yeah.
could you please walk me through a scenario where you get to your angry voice?
Okay, so for example, like let's say we're in the car and they want something or some toys, and like I'm in the front seat and no one is there to help them. So they will start screaming and crying until someone stops the car and pick the toys up for them.
Okay. So
Mm,
they are in the car with toys. They drop the toys and they start screaming
yeah.
until somebody stops the car to pick up the toys.
Yes.
When do
Yeah.
you start yelling? When do you raise your voice?
Uh, when they when they do not stop, I've tried to hold it like for like 15 minutes. So throughout the car ride, I'll just tolerate them until we reach the destination. And then like but they will still be crying. Like the cries doesn't stop. Um
Okay.
so so yeah, 15 minutes, and then if they still keep screaming and crying, I'll start to raise my voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your window of tolerance of hearing and witnessing your twins crying is
Mm.
about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes,
10, yeah.
your nervous system goes outside of your window of tolerance, and that's when
Yes.
you feel really dysregulated and you yell.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when they are crying and you're reaching that limit, how do you feel in your body?
Mm. How did I like my heart will start beating very quickly.
Okay, so your heart
Yeah.
is
And
fast. You're
yeah, and then
you're
I'll get
pro
very nervous.
you're probably not breathing correct, like you have shallow breathing.
Mm.
Doesn't
Yes.
allow your brain to have the proper flow of
Mm.
oxygen.
Yes.
Okay, and then your thinking brain shuts down. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm. And
Like
then
my emotions will take over.
you
Yeah.
feel it in your chest. Where do you feel that overwhelmness?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like my chest is about to explode when
To explode. Okay, so it's like a
yeah,
pressure, like something
yeah,
is
there's a
pressuring
pressure
you.
there. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Um, what are your thoughts at that moment?
I feel like I'm a very bad mother. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You correlate your twins'
mm,
dysregulation with a belief that you have about yourself of I'm not a good mother.
mm, sometimes,
Mhm.
yeah. Um like I feel the guilt. I don't know, like um
Mhm.
I think I try to control my emotions, but when they keep screaming and crying, I I I just don't know what to do.
Okay.
Even after,
Can I ask
yeah.
you a deeper question? I want to understand
Mm.
why the crying takes you outside of your window of tolerance. What happened to you when you cried when you were growing up? How did your caregivers respond to you?
They ignore. They just let me cry, and yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
you felt neglected.
yes, neglected. Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel the same way when your twins are not calming down with you during those 10 minutes? That if they don't calm down within those 10 minutes, then that means I am neglecting them because I
Yes,
felt neglected
yes,
growing up.
yes, yes. I felt that. Yeah.
Hmm. So
Mm.
you see that you are projecting your childhood onto the interaction with your children.
Mm, mm,
So what's making you yell is not your twins crying, is your projection of what it means if they cry. Because for you growing up, crying meant neglect and emotional abandonment. So
yeah.
you are transferring those feelings of emotional abandonment and neglect onto the current experience when you're witnessing your children crying. And that's what's making you yell, not
Mm,
the actual behavior, but the
mm,
projection of emotional abandonment and neglect that you lived growing up when you cried
mm,
and nobody came.
mm. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So do you see that your reactivity is not driven by your twins' behaviors? It's driven by your projection. Is it true that if your twins are crying, you are a neglectful mother?
That's how I think and how I feel.
Mm,
Yeah. Because I feel that, like, if I don't calm them down, I have felt myself as their mother. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are placing the worth of you as a mother on the behavior. If my
Yes.
child comes down, that means I'm a good mom. And if
Mm,
they don't come down, that means I'm a bad mom.
yes. Yeah.
How do you see them receiving that? Because it's really a weight that you have and you're placing it on them. Hey, you need to calm down. Otherwise, you're going
Mm,
to see the not so good part of me.
yeah. So I'm placing my expectations of myself on them. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
receive this with a lot of empathy because when they're done that, it's very easy for us to project our childhood onto our parenting. So easy,
mm,
so easy. Now, from this awareness that you have right now, that it is not your children when they cry what makes you yell, but your
mm,
projection of your childhood, how do
mm.
you see interacting with your twins when they are not calming down in that window of tolerance of 10 minutes that you have?
Wow. I still do not have the answer. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, I see the relation between my childhood and the yelling. But if you were to ask me what would I do, I still have no idea.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm still, yeah.
Okay, so it's almost as if you internalize that experience of an emotional neglect and abandonment deep
Mm,
down, like as part of you. That's who you are.
mm,
So, okay. Would you allow me to do an exercise?
yeah, sure.
Okay. The idea is to start separating your back story experiences with your current parenting.
Mm,
Okay. You can close
okay.
your eyes if you feel safe to do so,
Mm,
or you don't have
okay.
to.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just say We are going to feel that uncomfortable feeling.
Mm.
We are going to feel that guilt.
Mhm.
Where is that guilt? In your chest? Where is that guilt? Some people say in their womb, some other clients say in their throat, some other client, like where does that reside?
In my chest.
Okay. So if you can imagine that guilt separating from your chest and you're able to see it, to see that guilt. Just imagine that guilt. And for the rest of you, you can do that exercise as well. If you are able to see that guilt, is there any particular color that guilt is right now?
I see blue.
Blue. Okay. So is it like, for me, guilt feels, I remember telling my parenting coach that it feels like a really sticky thing that I can get out me. Is there any texture that you could associate to that guilt?
Spiky.
Spiky, like almost like it pokes you.
Yes.
Okay. So you're able to see that spiky blue guilt.
Mm.
And just imagine that guilt being outside of you, not being part of you, just something that you witness, that you're not rejecting, you're just witnessing it, acknowledging it.
Mm.
Is there anything that you want to tell to that guilt?
You are not me.
Mm. Anything else?
You don't. I want to tell my guilt that,
You want to tell her what?
like, it doesn't define who I am.
Who are you, Jocelyn?
The guilt doesn't define who I am.
It doesn't define who you are.
Yes.
And you're going to tell that girl who you are. Who are you? So I am.
I am a loving and confident mother.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's just imagine that you leave that guilt outside of you. You witness
Mm.
it. You don't reject it. It's there. You acknowledge it. It's there.
Mm.
And you take that truth of I'm a loving mom.
Mm.
And you take it to that interaction when your twins are crying in the car because something fell to the floor. From that truth that you're a loving mom, even if they
Mm.
cry for 20 minutes straight,
Mm.
how do you see yourself handling the situation?
Mm. I'll empathize with them.
Mm.
Yeah. And um I'll be more patient towards them.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And you know what? You're creating a belief that their
Mm.
feelings, remember the heart of a secure parents? You're
Yes.
creating the belief in them that their feelings are valid.
Yes. Validate their feelings.
Yes.
Mm.
Even if they need to show it for 20 minutes straight, their feelings are valid. And that's
Yeah.
wonderful and that's powerful. You're not a
Yes.
bad mom because your twins cry with you for an hour straight.
Mm.
Good parents have crying kids for hours for as long as the kid's body feels they need to cry.
Mm. Yes. Yeah. Understand. Yep.
What hurts a child, crying doesn't hurt a child. What hurts a child is when we let them cry alone. So that's
Yep.
why crying hurts you. The crying
Yes.
didn't hurt you is because you cried alone in childhood and you feel emotionally abandoned.
Mm. Yeah.
Are you open for a practical strategy on how to help with those car rides? And
Yes, sure.
it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's very simple. If you know that it is a potential trigger that your daughters, your twins, are going to drop up something and they don't have the window of tolerance and the patience to wait until you stop the car to pick up the thing, just don't have it as an option. Don't have it as an option for them. Simple.
Remove all the toys, right?
Huh?
To remove everything from the car.
If you see that that's a trigger, just don't
Mm.
even have it as an option for them to have in the car.
Yeah.
You
I
could
tried it, but
you could start building up on it and
yeah.
say, hey, we are
Mm.
going to the grocery store that is 5 minutes away. Okay, we
Mm.
are going to build their window of tolerance. It's okay
Mm.
if they cry for 1 minute.
Mm.
And then I'm going to try with longer rides next time and
Mm.
just keep building up their window of tolerance, telling them what they can do instead. So
Mm.
one wonderful way that I do with my twins, not so much now because they're 8, but when they were younger, we used to do a lot of card games all the time. I Spy with my little eye, or we would sing songs on the like. We would just get creative and see how we can make the car ride enjoyable with having nothing, just our hands, our voice.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll try
And
that.
and when they get dysregulated, it's okay. You know
Yeah.
what? If they're buckled up, they're completely safe. They're just loud.
Yes, yes.
So you validate their feelings. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. It fell to the floor and you cannot get it. I see why you are so upset. I promise that as soon as we park, we're going to pick it up and they're safe. They're just uncomfortable. And it's
Mm.
okay to feel uncomfortable and safe. And you're a
Mm.
good mom.
Mm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna move to Tanya.
Yes.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Welcome to the Secure Parent Collective. How can I help you?
Thank you. So I have a 2.5-year-old, and then I have a 1 month old. And my 2.5-year-old, I feel like he's gotten into the stage where he's feeling a little jealous. And sometimes when he goes up to the baby, he'll start going up to her face, but sometimes he'll pinch her cheeks, and he does it to the point where he's pinching. He'll grab the hand and he'll want to pinch that, or just like start yanking at it. And so we've told him like it hurts the baby, try doing it softly. But another thing that we've also seen him do is start to get more aggressive, like towards the dogs as well. um we have a dog and he'll want to yank the dog's leg or hop on top of the dog, and they're small dogs. So it's a point where I don't know how to make him feel that he's still loved and safe, even though we do have a new addition to the family, and stop being aggressive towards his sister and the dogs.
So he's 2.5.
Yes.
Okay. Would you allow me to give you a little of education on brain development?
Yes.
Okay. So the brain develops from the bottom up. So we are born with a fully developed downstairs brain. So the downstairs brain is our survival brain, the brain that helps us go through stress. So it puts us in fight, flight, or freeze behaviors. Okay. As we grow up, the brain starts developing from the bottom up. And then the last thing that develops is the cortex or the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is in charge of many things. executive functioning skills. These executive functioning skills are emotional regulation, impulse control, delayed gratification. That's why the Jocelyn's twins are not able to wait at 4. Delayed gratification and empathy. Empathy is placing myself in somebody else's shoes and being able to feel how that other person or dog or animal feels.
Okay.
So all these are prefrontal cortex executive functioning skills. And it starts developing at around 7 years old. So how do I stop my son from being aggressive? It's really hard for him to stop his impulses because he does not have that area of the brain to back him up. Okay? So the aggression will continue as long as his brain is undeveloped. Now, it is not that like, okay, do I let him hit the baby? There is no hope for me. No, there is a lot of hope, and we can talk about that in a little bit. I just wanted to lead with brain development education. So we stand on realistic expectations towards what our children are capable or not capable of doing. Okay.
Okay.
The second thing, I'm very curious, and I want to explore why you believe that the root of it is jealousy.
Because he was the only one for 2.5 years. And he's the only grandchild on my side, and then he's the youngest one on my husband's side. And so he really was kind of like the center of attention for the 2.5 years. And so they always, my husband's side, like, always referred to him as the baby. And so once, our daughter was born, they called her the baby. And so in my head, I was just thinking that, I don't know, that it might be just jealousy, because one of the things that I did ask, one of the times he had pinched her cheek really hard, I asked why he did that, and he's like, I don't like her. And so he started crying, and so all I did was hug him, and I told him that I loved him. And I guess I wasn't aware of like the whole brain development, but I also started telling him that, I tried explaining that it hurts her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do you understand by jealousy?
That he feels that it feels jealous, I guess, that she's getting more attention, or that we're replacing him in some way, or yeah, I feel more than anything that he feels that she might be getting more attention than he has, even though we've been trying to be more aware of that and spending alone time with him as well.
Okay. It is a reality, though, that a newborn does need and require more attention than a
Right.
toddler, even though a toddler requires a lot of attention. So he potentially might be seeing that. I'm feeling it. Okay. So I just wanted to explore what your beliefs were around jealousy, because jealousy is a very misunderstood feeling by a lot of us. And jealousy is really a plea for connection. That's what jealousy is. Jealousy doesn't speak of him not loving his sister or not having a good relationship with his I know when it comes to sibling jealousy, there is catastrophizing mentality in a lot of parents. I don't know if you have it of, oh, if he's jealous of his sister, then he's not going to develop to have a good relationship with her, or he's going to not like her. And that's not the root of it, okay? So jealousy is basically, I crave connection. I crave the same connection that I used to have. And then something came in place and it's a little sister. And now the connection that I used to have is different. It feels different. Okay? So he is acting out what all the things that he's feeling and he cannot express with words, with pinching the cheeks and with, how do you say, like pulling her leg.
Yeah.
And the things that you said, okay? Because he has all these mess of emotions that he cannot make sense of. So my invitation for you is to put words to his feelings. Because when we build a coherent narrative in our children, it actually helps them behave better. So it's
Okay.
not so much about how do I stop this aggressive behavior, is what's driving the behavior. And now we know that he has a lot of feelings related to connection, and how we can put words to their experience so they feel more at ease. Okay? He's 2.5, so you won't be able to have a family meeting with him and let's go for a coffee and let's talk about this. The way we process difficult or big emotions with Leo kids is through play and storytelling.
Okay.
Okay? Through play and storytelling. So number one, I encourage you to look in Amazon and buy books on how that children's books that explain Leo kids like your son, what it means to bring a new baby home.
Okay.
I have a Christian recommendation, but I don't know if you're a Christian. If you're not a Christian, then look in Amazon books that explain a the new baby dynamic to a Leo kid. And you put the ages, from 2 to 4 books. And every day read that book. It could be the same book every single day. And that will help him put words to his experience and build a coherent narrative. Okay? The second thing, he might be looking to know how to connect with baby sister, and he doesn't know how to connect with baby sister. The truth of the matter is that if I didn't have morality and brain development, for sure I would go to a cute, chunky baby and pull their cheeks, because that's a natural instinct and reaction when we see a cute thing. So he might see all that ball of cuteness and he might want to squeeze the cheeks and not measure his strength, right? So it's a matter of not when he's aggressive, but just in a way that when he's playful, when he's calm and connected and relaxed, to take his little hand and say, hey, if you want to touch baby sister, this is how you do it. Let's practice. Now when he's aggressive, feeling that baby sister, he doesn't like baby sister because he's not going to follow instruction, when he's calm, and then do it consistently, so he gets in the habit of learning how to interact with baby sister.
Okay.
Okay. So we talked about how to help him process his feelings, build a coherent narrative that will help put words to his experience and not feel so many big things that he's going to act it out towards baby sister. We talked about his brain development. So because he doesn't have impulse control, if those big feelings come back in, he might go back to his baby sister, even if you practice the new way. So in that case, for now, while we build the habit, I don't know if there is a way to increase supervision when he's around baby sister, meaning that there is not a chance for him to be next to her without you or another adult next to him.
Oh yeah, I I don't leave them by themselves. I feel like the only times he's really quick. So the times that he's been
They're
able
very
to,
quick. And
yeah,
you know what? When I say not living by themselves, I was not thinking about you going upstairs and then being alone downstairs. It's like even being aware that that's his tendency, that at any moment he's going to swat a
okay,
baby sister. So you are able to redirect his hand and remind them of the way on how to interact with her. Okay.
okay,
Number 3, if there is any limiting belief or catastrophizing mentality of this means he's going to not have a good relationship with baby sister. That's not the case. He's just trying to understand what's his place in the family and what it means to have a younger sister. That's it. That's all. What creates sibling rivalry is other things, is neglect, is power over parenting, is mm, playing favorites with our kids, many other things, not related. Okay. And what else do I have to say? And the books. The books will put words into his experience. Yeah.
what was the Christian book you said?
Yes. If you give me a second, I will bring it. Hopefully I can. So this is actually a full collection of Christian books that explain different experiences that kids go through. This is the one of pregnancy and becoming a big brother. So this is a mama bear. I bought it for my pastor's son because I was pregnant with the twins. So this is the story of a mama bear who's pregnant with twins. And then in the chapters, in the pages, she's explaining to her little cub what it means to be a big brother. So,
God gave us two. Thank you.
and this is the full collection. I have all over everything,
Okay,
but it's a Christian book. So it talks about Jesus and God and, Christian concepts.
okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Fabiana, we have 5 minutes. How are you?
Girl, this whole meeting, I'm like pulling hair over here with him.
Tell me, how can I
Literally.
help you? We have 5 minutes, so if
Okay, so
then
that's
we will continue in the next session.
okay. So basically, the issue that I'm having is with behavior control. When I'm trying to discipline, he won't respect my discipline.
How old is your son?
He's 5. Okay,
Okay.
go get the cup. Yeah, so I have a hard time. Like, I'll try the timer, I'll try directing him, but he has difficulties respecting that even after putting the timer. So, like, a good example would be a tablet. Oh, he'll put the timer on the tablet. Once the alarm goes off, he doesn't want to give up the item. So what I'll do is I'll say to him, I need you to lock it. I don't remove it or take it away. I just tell him, can you please lock it? And when he doesn't do that, then I'll go ahead and lock it and he'll still be frustrated and upset. And then he wants to throw the tablet and he wants to throw everything. And then it's very difficult to give him, it's very difficult to then, I guess, calm him down. What I do is I'll just leave him alone. I let him go through his feelings. I don't say nothing to him. But then he'll go to the room, and then let's say if he asks for the television, I'll say no. He throws the control. He fusses. He goes, ah, and is just very angry at me.
Okay. Okay. So what's your question?
So my question is, how do I manage that behavior from getting to that? Like,
Okay.
how do I get him to respect the boundaries that, yeah, you can have it, but there's a limit to it without you having to get so upset about it?
Okay. Okay. How do I, okay. So is it okay if I reframe your intention? Because
Yeah.
I see that your intention is rooted in a judgment that you have about your son. So
Okay.
your intention is, how do I get him to respect my boundaries? And in the very beginning, when you started talking, I heard a judgment about your son related to that. My son doesn't respect my authority and my discipline. So why is it important for us to be aware of the judgments that we have about ourselves and about our children? Because from those beliefs, we parent.
Yes.
So when you come to the interaction with your son, you come already with that belief that my son doesn't respect my discipline. And then the question is follow up on, how do I get him to respect my discipline? Do you see that? Like your belief, the judgment that you have about your son is what's driving the interaction right now with him. Because when you enter to talk to him, you're already believing that. And this is a judgment-free zone. We all have judgments about ourselves and our kids, me included. I'm still under parenting coaching. And I will be until my twins are out of the house, because this is a journey. This is an ongoing process. It never ends, because patterns from childhood run deep.
Yeah.
I know we only have 2 minutes. Would you allow me to do the full coaching next week? And right now to focus on what's the source of that belief? Because if that belief stays on the way, whatever thing that I tell you and we process here, and whatever tools I give you, you're always going to try to use those tools from that belief, and it won't work.
All right.
Okay. So would you allow me to go a little deeper, even if it's 1 minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And next week we're going to continue, because I won't be able to finish. Okay.
Okay.
So when you did the opposite of what your parents told you or your caregivers told you to do, what happened?
Meaning discipline when I wouldn't listen?
Yes.
So I mean, part of it they would allow me to go through my feelings only because I was partially raised by my aunt by the time that I was 8. So by the time that I started living with my aunt, they kind of allowed me go through those feelings because they knew I needed my mom. They wanted to allow me, they would still talk to me. They would have sit downs with me. Sometimes, of course, they would be yelling because I didn't have that discipline with my mom. She would allow me to do whatever I wanted because I was the only girl and I was the last one. I have 2 older brothers. So with my mom, it was always like, oh, ella la niña, like you let her do whatever she wants and it's nothing. When I came into my aunt's house, it was like, you have to make your bed, you have to do this. So if I didn't do that, it would be like, I would get yelled for it. But eventually I still had to do it. They never hit me, they never were aggressive with me, but I would always get yelled all the time if I
Okay.
didn't follow through what I needed to
So
do.
you grew up part of your childhood under power under dynamic. And
Yeah.
then another part of your childhood was power over dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're bouncing between those two extremes with your son, power under and
Yeah.
power over, because that's what was modeled to you. Okay, so next week we are going to find the middle.
Okay.
Don't have more time. Come back next week.
Okay.
And part of finding the middle is to work in those beliefs.
Okay.
I know like I just need the tools. The tools only work if our beliefs are expansive beliefs. So we are
Yes.
going to start working on those beliefs, and then we're going to find the tools to have a power with dynamic.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Fabiana. Thank you, everybody. Remember to come next week. Join the private Facebook group. Go to members area. Over there, we have a library of coaching highlights. We are building our collection of the trainings of the use process week by week. We start today, and next week we are going to do another one until we finish the entire training of the use process. So you will see this replay soon in your members area. If you need customer support, you can always contact us at info@hicparenting.com. You will see me. Sometimes you will see me with another HIC parenting coach. Some other times you're going to see another HIC parenting coach. We are an interdisciplinary team. We are an agency, and we're here to wrap our arms around you so you become secure parents. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. Connie, hi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Freddy, Fabiana, Jamie, Tatiana, all the ones who are not with their cameras on, if you can, please turn them on. I like to see you. Is this your first time in the Secure Parent Collective support call? Connie?
Yes, it is.
Oh, welcome. When did you
Thank
join?
you. A few days ago.
Awesome. Welcome to the Secure Parent Collective. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
right now I'm answering questions related to the topic of this week. And after that, anything that happens, like anything that comes after that is welcome. Somebody else is joining. Tell me, what do you want to say? What's your question? Connie? Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was asking you.
I I have a lot of questions. I have a 2.5-year-old that just trying to figure her out while she's trying to figure herself out is my biggest struggle that I have. But also with our generation trying to figure out how to navigate my own emotions to help her navigate hers. So
Okay. Okay.
I have so many questions, so I just listened because a lot of them are getting answered.
Okay, good. Okay, so what about we start with her big emotions? Because that's basically the topic of this week. The dysregulation, children's dysregulation. So
She,
what's your question?
Um, I guess with learning all this is now like the breakdown of the different levels, I think is going to be a big help over the next few weeks to work with them of not knowing that there was, you know, stages that I could recognize beforehand. So it's good to know all these different levels and trying to recognize them ahead of time. Just trying to figure that out with a 2-year-old that's, you know, she's verbal but limited because she's 2. So it's, you know, just trying to figure out ways to help her express herself with the few words that she has to use to express herself
Okay,
without
so what's
using her hands.
her off? What's the trigger, or what's the situation that takes her to meltdown?
Some days it seems like anything. She goes to daycare, so she's not home with us all day long. And I find when she does come home, we are rushing to get dinner ready and doing the nighttime process with bedtime. And sometimes I feel like she wants more of our attention than we can give her in those moments, and trying to find that balance of helping her with her needs of spending time with us, but also getting food into our stomachs.
So she's
So,
basically following you around, pulling on your shirt, telling you to
yeah.
play, or how does she seek connection?
A lot of times she'll ask you to go to places. Like she'll take your hand and say, "Come, mama, come, mama." And other times I can see when the meltdown is about to happen, and when I'm like, just give mama a minute. I need to, like make sure the kitchen's safe. And all of a sudden there's a pile of toys on the floor that she is throwing down because I haven't given her that attention right in that moment. So the patience is a hard one in our household of trying to get her just to wait a moment for us to do something. My husband's also very much like my daughter. So I feel like I deal with 2 toddlers' emotions sometimes, of trying to help him regulate his emotions when she's not regulating hers. And it's sometimes more of the challenge of having my husband involved in it. So
Okay.
I love him dearly, but
Okay. So how do you feel at those moments when you're pretty much the front lobe of the entire family at that moment? How do you feel at that time?
stressed, overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I feel very, very alone.
Mm. So you're longing for support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you feel alone and you feel frustrated and lonely and you're longing for that support, what comes out of that? What's your default response? This is judgment free. I just want to have a full picture of what's going on right now.
A lot of times, there's times I walk away myself to ground myself so that I'm not feeling like I'm losing it. I've had moments where I've walked away and cried myself to, get myself out of that repetitive thought of I'm doing this by myself and nothing seems to work, and the frustration. But big thing lately has been breathing. Just taking a deep breath myself, even when she's like, no, mama, no breath, no breath. And I'm like, no, honey, this one's for mommy. Mommy needs to take the breath right now. So, yeah, my biggest one sometimes is just to take a step away.
Okay. Okay. So you're longing to have that space. You're longing to have that support. So you are able to take care of one thing at a time not everything at the time, because right now it seems that you are juggling, you're multitasking multiple things. You are co-regulating with your daughter, you are preparing dinner, you are co-regulating with your husband too. You are everything at the same time. So it makes sense to me why your need for space takes you to that narrative of, why do I have to do everything by myself? I feel lonely. And then that the frustration comes. So I want to make you aware of a pattern.
Okay.
And the pattern that I see here is that you are projecting your need for support towards your daughter. Like, if my daughter is more patient, then it will be a lot easier for me. When the real need is, if my husband supported me more, then things would be a lot easier for me.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so it's not really, I don't see really, I see here more a co-parenting dynamic than the dynamic with your daughter. Because she's 2.5 and you are an educated parent. You understand that your daughter is small, and you told me that she has this very, very big need for connection. So you're aware of her needs. You're aware of her needs. So you know that your daughter needs that connection and that attention. But what's dysregulating you is not her not being able to wait, it's more that you are doing all that by yourself. So what will bring a lot more peace at that time is getting your husband on board with support.
Yes, we've recently discovered we have different parenting ideas, and
Okay.
I'm trying to get him more onto the gentle parenting, but he has a lot of his beliefs and upbringings to work through as well. That he's not a very emotional man to start with, so he doesn't like to talk about things for himself. So it's making it harder for us to learn to parent together.
Okay.
So
Okay. Will you allow me to coach you a little bit on that?
absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to take a long time, so I can open support for other parents.
Hmm.
Okay, so beneath refusal to see other parenting ideas, there is usually a big fear, and there is shame beneath it. So there is a fear that he has. Some fathers that I coach, the fear is that gentle parenting is going to not prepare my children for the real world, or if I don't do this, then they're not going to learn how to behave properly. So my invitation for you is to speak to the fear, to see what his fear is, and then from there to find common ground. Because it's highly possible that you both believe on the bigger stuff. What do you want for your daughter? You want for your daughter to be an emotionally healthy adult who is able to keep a job and have great relationships, So get an agreement of what's important for you about raising your daughter. And then after that, getting to talk about the methods, because he may have ideas or fears of what it would mean if he loses up the rein a little bit in terms of, is he authoritarian or he's more like on the permissive side?
Um, he's a bit of both.
Okay.
He's yeah.
Well, he tries to be
Um,
patient, and when he doesn't, he's not patient anymore, then he lashes out and he yells or punishes, things like that.
yeah.
Okay. And that's a really good sign. You know why?
Okay.
Because that lets me know that he's aware and he's trying to do better, but he doesn't have the tools. But there might be an ego side there that he is not allowing him to learn from you.
That's a possibility.
Okay. Okay. So that's a really good sign. He in fact agrees with gentle parenting. Otherwise, he would not be trying to be kind. He will go right to "Mm," or else, you know? Okay. So this is my encouragement for you. Pick up a time
Okay.
when you are not in the middle of cooking dinner and it's not the mess, he's not nobody's dysregulated, and then bring it up and say, hey, can we talk about how can we make dinner time a lot easier for all of us? Because I'm struggling. Okay. And then you say, okay, I noticed that when I'm cooking dinner, our daughter comes and follows me and she tries to gain my attention and play with me. I feel overwhelmed with everything by myself, and I long that you connect the feeling with the need. I feel I need. I feel lonely doing everything by myself. I need support.
Okay.
Okay. How you try
I
to
can
have
do
that
that.
conversation with him?
Not specifically about like supper time specifically, but I have sat down and said, hey, we need to figure out how to parent together
Okay,
and what that
that's
would
a
look like.
very big thing. Let's break it down in concrete examples, especially,
Okay.
I mean, after working with so many fathers, I've seen that they are more like, give me the scenario and then I could learn to navigate in the scenario. So let's start with dinner time. And once that is leveled out, then we move into another thing.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let me know how it goes. And when it comes to how do I get my daughter to be more patient, she's not developmentally ready to be patient because the skill of patience is a higher level skill. It requires the ability to tell time. If I wait 5 minutes, I know I can get mommy's attention, but I need to know what 5 minutes is. And
Mm-hmm.
2.5-year-olds cannot tell time right now. They might be able to look at a toddler clock and tell you the numbers, but they don't know what it means to wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So to have patience, you need to be able to tell time, and you need to be able to have the skill of self-control. So controlling my impulse to try to meet my need during that time that I'm waiting. That's a higher level skill that does not come for a 2.5-year-old. So if she needs connection, she needs connection. So the strategy here is for you to be supported at a different level. You feel lonely, and from that loneliness is that the frustration raises up, and then you're parenting from that frustration caused by the need for support. So let's work on that first, and then we move on to the second. Mhm.
Mhm.
So what is your takeaway before I move on?
Um, like most things, communicate with my husband more and have those conversations with him when we don't have any interruptions to be able to have those good conversations.
Mhm.
Um, and have that help when he is home. So he's not always home. That's
Mhm.
the other hard part. So
Mhm. Tatiana is asking, can she set a timer? You can set a timer, but she won't understand what a 5-minute timer means. That's why timers at that age, it's more appropriate if her need is for connection, for the mom maybe to look for ways to involve her in the in the dinner preparing process. Maybe giving her a little responsibility or job. Okay, you're in charge of stacking the apples. Even if you're not working with apples, okay, she feels that she's part of the moment. But having her wait is just setting her up for failure just because she cannot understand time yet. Hi, Freddie.
Hello, hello, Marcela. This is my first time. Just gonna go straight to my point, I guess. I'm just curious to know what would you be your advice to address those behaviors, especially aggressive behaviors when someone is yelling. From what I understood today, and this is my first class, I think you can explain how emotional people in general do not behave rationally. And I think the advantage for all those is once you de-escalate, yeah, they tend to go to a more rational approach. But kids, they don't know better, right? So it's gonna take time for them to behave the way that you expect them. So
Yeah.
in the meantime, which is years and years, how do you address those behaviors? Because when they yelling, they hitting each other. They have two girls. I rely a lot in warning. I say
How old are they?
8 and 6.
Okay, 8 and 6. I have 8-year-old twins. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the interaction?
So I rely a lot in warning. I said, you do not hit people. If you hit people, I'm gonna go and address the situation. I send them to different rooms until they cool down, and I approach to each other to de-escalate. But as soon as I leave and everything seems happy, they come together and everything start again. So
Okay.
I just wondering what's your idea on how to.
We need to close the loop because you see conflict, you work on settling them down. And by the way, I'm curious if they agree with going to their bedroom or if it's something that you impose. You have to go to your bedroom because I said, like, I wonder what it is because this is the thing. And this is more related to older kids. Older kids like to have agency, right? With little kids, we can restrict the choices. Do you want this or do you want that? But if me as an adult, for example, somebody comes to tell me, hey, go to your room until you come down, I'm like, no, I want to be here. Older children are the same way. So the first thing is to figure out what they agree with that can help them at that time to calm down. So my invitation is not at the dysregulation moment, at the conflict, but beforehand, when they're happy, when you are engaging with them, bring that to their attention. Hey, when you guys are fighting and you need to calm down, what could help you? Is it going to your room something that could help you? Or do you prefer to stay by me in the office? Or what could help you at that moment? Or do you prefer to go to the playroom and listen to some music? What could help you at that moment? Okay? Because this is the thing. If they connect, go to your room with a punishment, with disconnection, when they come back out of their rooms, their nervous system is not settled down. Even if they stop crying, even if they stop yelling, they would do anything to come back to connecting with their sister and you. They will stop crying to get out of that room, if that makes sense. But their nervous system is not regulated. And because it's still triggered, because it's still in high alert, it makes sense why they go back to the sibling squabble. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I think might sound arrogant, but I'm fairly good at de-escalating each one. The
Okay.
problem is when they come back, they like it's like the movie start again. We talk, And one says, what do you want to do? You want to stay here? Okay, excellent. So I take the other one to the other side. I talk to one, talk to the other. They understand. They say, yeah, my sister like that. And I usually help them, right? And everything seems good. I leave, they come back, and
when
boom.
they come back, okay, so when you say that they calm down, is it that their nervous system is fully regulated, if they're fully connected, if they're calm, or they're just not fighting anymore? What do you mean by they're calm?
So the 1 6 year old, she's very emotional, difficult to discuss issues. I just wait for her to be, we can come back and talk once you can talk to me.
Okay,
And the 8 years old, she's more rational. You say,
okay,
but that's not fair. She's always behaving like this. She's not a baby anymore. So I just listen until I understand. Yeah, that's your sister. You've been there once.
okay,
You might not remember. So everything is good until that point. Then I do agree. So if you wanna talk to your sister, make sure you have you talk nicely. If you have any issue, come to me. Do not resolve it. Come to me and I help you.
okay.
In theory it works, but then I leave usually to work, and then I can hear the same story over, and at that point I kind of lose patience. I become more authoritative.
Authoritarian?
uh,
Okay.
Authoritarian, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Freddie, the first thing that I want to say is that you're an amazing father because I see that you want to help your daughters. And the reason why I started like with regulation is because once like teaching and collaborative discipline would not work until they are fully regulated, until they are fully calm. So that's the very first thing. And we're going to move on to the second thing in a second. So find a way for them to tell you what could help them at that time to calm down. Find out if going to the room is really working. And if not, what works. Ask them because they're older and they can give you insight. They can talk. The 6 and the 8-year-old could tell you what could help them. Once you have that strategy or that input from them, then that's what you're going to be using from now on when you see sibling conflict for them to calm down. Once they're calm, I'm not saying once they stop fighting, once they're calm, once their nervous system is regulated, then you bring them in and you close the loop. And this is something that I see that might be missing in this situation, because this is the steps that you're taking. They're having a sibling squabble, you're calming down, and then they come back together and they still don't know how to solve their conflict. Okay? So we close the loop. They have a sibling squabble, calm them down, and then once they're calm, you bring them back together, you, not them. You bring them back together, and then you troubleshoot. Okay, what do you need when you were started fighting with your sister? Listen to them. Listen to each one of them. Okay, what do you need? Oh, I needed to play on I needed to write something on my notebook. Okay. And what do you need? Oh, no, I needed, so listen to their needs. Now, once you know what each one of their needs are or their wants, might not be a need, might be a want, then invite problem solving. Okay, if you need this, and if you need this, we believe that all our needs could be met. How can we work together so both of your needs are met? Do you have any ideas? And have them give you their ideas. If they don't come up with any idea, give them a few options on how they can solve their conflict. And then that's how they learn problem solving skills. And that's how you close the loop.
So you say bring them to the process of collaboration rather than just de-escalating and leave it like that.
Yes, because if you just de-escalate them, they still don't know how to solve their conflict. They're gonna go back to their conflict. But that only will work if they are regulated. If they're still dysregulated, let's just say you go to your rooms and come out when you're calm. They cannot calm themselves down because they're little kids. They need an adult.
Mhm.
When they come back out, they're not regulated. So they're gonna go back to fighting. So make sure that whatever you do in the co-regulation process is something that is conducive for them to regulate more than stop fighting. The goal is not for them to stop fighting. The goal is for them to regulate, to calm down their nervous system, because that's the stepping stone towards teaching and collaborative discipline and troubleshooting and problem solving and give me your ideas, give me your thoughts, give me what are your needs, what are your feelings. They can only get to that place if they're calm.
Got it. Thank you.
I have a question for you. What did you get out of this time with me?
Yeah, I think I come from customer service, so I'm very familiar with the escalation in general, especially very aggressive customer. I think for me it's more to, but however, I do not get the same at home, maybe because I get paid at work, and at home it doesn't quite work like at work. I think it's a different kind of skill, and I feel like the tips that you give me, as you gave some parents, I think more practical aspect, I think is what I'm more interested. And I think what you just gave me kind of empty the emotion before going to collaborating activities is it was very useful for me.
You're welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. It was almost about to not end because my kids were not sleeping in time today.
No, it's okay. Okay, so what do you want to get out of this time with me?
Honestly, tonight I don't really know where to start. It was very interesting what you talked about with Freddie about the beliefs.
Yeah.
For me, it's very special because aside of this membership that I decide to make with you, I'm also in spiritual journey, honestly. And so I'm also very informing myself and in these beliefs and paradigms and everything how it's worked, the brain, and still also if I know a lot of information and I'm alchemizing and transcending many things in my life, I made so much change still in the parenting since I'm only 4 years old mom now. It's still difficult for me exactly because there is these beliefs and paradigms in my brain, and you just was making me rethink and again and go deeper. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
So
this was about
do you want to do a little mindset work right now, or what do you need help with?
mostly this week was much more about my triggers,
Okay.
which now I have much more tools. This I have to be honest, and many things improved, but still I had I don't know much triggers this week with the
Okay, so
kids.
do you want to work through what's happening when you get triggered, or what's in your subconscious mind when you get triggered? What do you want to get out of these minutes with me?
Yes, maybe I should work better on my triggers also because I realized anyway, also if I try to meet the needs of my kid, also if I try all the tools that I have, um, I think mostly I have to work first on myself, maybe.
Okay. So this is what we can do right now. Okay.
Yeah.
How I was telling Freddie, mindset work and working on our subconscious patterns and rewiring our nervous system and all the inner work takes weeks. That's something I do
Yeah.
with my coaching clients, 14 weeks. Right now, what I could help you with is to help you be aware of your pattern, of your belief system. Do you want to do that?
If
Okay.
if for me it's yes.
Just for the sake of time, we could do that right now. You are aware of the pattern of your belief system. That will help you as well be more aware when you're
Yes.
in that
Yes.
pattern, and that will help you. So what's the biggest trigger for you?
When my child is uh, violent, I mean, when he has this physical anger that is not anger, but this explosion physically, you know,
When does he hit
what
you?
sometimes, yes,
Okay.
sometimes he hits me when he's because he's a sensory seeker, of course. Now we realize this, but still is triggering like now he learned this new skill also to speak at school and so in the kindergarten. So I guess he want to try it at home. and maybe it's the only place where it's allowed it because and so when he have this big reaction, of course, I can stay many times calm, and some moments I can also, especially when heated. Like today, it just threw the pacifier of the sister on the floor, and I was trying in a logical way to understand and regulate and take him to get it to bring. And I would also say he would like if someone throw your pacifier, because he still have a pacifier, so also on this we have to talk. But and anyway, he was not available for this, and he was wearing the shoes of his dad, and he just left one shoes and one just hit me on the face very
Okay.
hard.
So he took the sister's pacifier, threw it on the floor, and then when you went to help him process what happened, he took the shoe off and then hit you.
No, he was wearing them. I
Yeah,
think he was
he
playing,
he
and the
took it
moment
off
he
and then
left,
okay.
yeah.
I'm very curious. When you witnessed him taking the pacifier off your daughter and throwing it on the floor, how do you feel?
Annoyed.
You feel annoyed.
If I have to be honest, I feel annoyed.
Any other
But
feeling?
on the other hand, I always think, okay, he doesn't do because for him, I would like he will just understand, um, to just take back. I'm very flexible, understanding.
So
Yeah, but
your nervous system feels annoyed, but your logical mind is telling you, hey, he doesn't understand, or what's the feeling that you have inside besides annoyance? You said
uh,
you said if he just understood, okay, so what is that feeling that is attached to that thought? If he just understood, is it like helplessness? Is it like frustration? Is it like
maybe frustration.
frustration?
This
Okay.
is this is one episode. The worst was yesterday on the toilet. For
Okay.
example, this is a little bit like with the throwing, and then this maybe that he threw these shoes also could have been by mistake, maybe because he's a thrower. And yesterday in the toilet we were just he was making caca, pooping, and I was close to him. We were talking about something very nice. He saw the scar on my belly and he asked me, what it is this, mama? And he knows that they came out from the belly. I was explained, and the little sister came in, and from nothing, really from nothing, that's why sometimes I feel also frustrated. I cannot understand. It was not going to happen. He gave a strong punch in the face to her, like very strong.
Okay. Okay, so you said you feel annoyed, frustrated. I'm looking for more tender feelings, and this is why. Because those more tender feelings are those are the feelings that are attached to your belief system.
Mm.
Frustration, annoyance is a basic feeling. It's a general feeling. Usually underneath anger, frustration, anxiety, annoyance, usually there are feelings like grief, or there are feelings like fear. You fear something may happen to him, to you, to your daughter, or there might be another tender feeling like resentment, or like besides annoyance and frustration, what's the most tender feeling there? Like what resonates with you the most? That will help us get to the beliefs. Do you have a fear if your son keeps doing that he's not going to have friends, or do you have, or is it more resentment towards your son? Maybe you're projecting something that you lived in childhood by witnessing him hitting sister, or is
I
it
don't know. For sure, I had my dad was quite unregulated,
okay?
and he was also often very aggressive.
Okay.
So for sure, I don't have very good relationship. And I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is it?
That if I feel aggression, upset through, for example, for me, it's hard to feel upset to my kids. I
Hmm.
feel very emotional and sad. It's like I feel like almost,
Shame that you are feeling angry towards that you're
yeah,
feeling angry with your son?
that if he does something sometimes that really hurt me, it's like I have no right to feel then anyway upset with them.
Oh, okay. So that's the most tender feeling there. You're feeling shameful. You are, it is shame. It is guilt and shame. You feel guilty and shameful
Guilty. I feel always guilty.
oh, for having those big emotions, for feeling angry, for feeling
Yes,
annoyed, for
yes.
feeling frustrated.
I feel always that I should be always self-regulated because I am the adult and I wish I could. I wish I could never make these mistakes sometimes. But
Okay.
sometimes it's very instinctual
So you are
that you,
relating feelings with, you categorize feelings between bad and good. Anger is bad, feeling annoyed is bad, feeling frustrated is bad. You are relating those feelings to their bad.
and it's also these are the strange things. I know that also in life there is actually not good and bad, but it's our perception, how we give them the meaning of bad and good. And still I have, I think, this program of feeling guilty and relate.
Valentina, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me you're feeling that way because you did not have a model of what being angry and safe is. You relate anger with lack of safety because when your father was angry, he was not safe. So as a little kid, to make sense of the experience, you created the belief that feeling angry is bad.
Yes.
So that's where that belief comes from.
And my
So
question, how I do really start to, because really sometimes it happen really big chaos also. And then I burst in tears because if it's very emotional a lot, not just what happened, but also I feel afterwards. You know, I am conscious of I want to be a mom. I want parenting our kids. And so once I'm conscious and I know what is wrong to do, I cannot turn my head on the other side if I do something wrong.
okay, so Valentina, for the sake of time, would you allow me to give you insight of what's happening?
So always.
Okay, Valentina, so this is what I see. I see black or white thinking here, and this is judgment free. I see a mother who loves deeply and fears to make the same mistakes that her father did with her. So there is in what I see that beneath that shame and guilt for feeling angry, there is a fear that if I feel angry, then I might end up doing something that is going to hurt my kids ultimately. But that comes from the projection that you're doing from your childhood of when I witnessed an adult getting angry, it was not safe. You are not your father. You can be angry at your kids and feel safe to be angry at your kids. You can be angry and safe at the same time. You're not allowing yourself to feel. And because you're not allowing yourself to feel, it's bringing up even more dysregulation for you. You are convincing yourself of secure parents are parents who only feel comfortable emotions. If I feel anything opposite of what is comfortable, then I'm not a secure parent, then I'm not a good parent. So when you do feel that uncomfortable emotion, it fills you up with anxiety, shame, and fear, and you try to get yourself out of it, but it creates more dysregulation. And that's when you end up with the big tears or maybe the dysregulated responses towards your kids. So again, it's not a situation of what's happening when your son is hitting Leo's sister. It's all the projection that you are having internally about what it means when I feel angry. Okay? So my invitation for you is, we can keep working towards peeling the layers of this pattern in other sessions. When you witness your son having that kind of behavior and you feel angry, to allow yourself to feel that anger in safety so you can keep yourself safe and your children safe. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say that your son, he took the shoe off and then he hit you on the face. I will feel angry too. How do you see yourself living that anger in safety at that moment? Doing what?
Usually I just take a really deep breath, really in this moment, just from the nose and out from the nose, really deep, like be conscious of my breath. And if I can leave them, because I'm always with them, because we're living far away and I have no support of no one, never. So I always with them in any moment. I cannot leave them and go out 5 minutes.
How old is he?
4.
He's 4. He's not a toddler. How old is your daughter?
15 months.
15 months. Okay.
One time, for example, he scratched my face here,
Okay.
and I was blooding, like
Oh,
drop of blood.
yeah. Yeah. That would, like anyone could feel angry with that. So,
And what instinctual for me in this moment also to give him like this. I didn't hurt him, but I did this because
yeah.
to remove from
And
the pain, because I felt very much pain in this moment, but I don't like also my action,
Mhm. So,
you know.
Valentina, yeah, that hurts.
When I feel pain, actually it's very difficult for me to um, I have to stop him, you know. Sometimes I stop him and Vincent is hurt me,
It's
but
survival. You have
yeah,
to, it's survival. Like if I feel hurt one day, I was laying down, one of my twins threw some kind of heavy toy and then it hit my nose.
so it was painful.
It's survival, yes. So
And
this,
this is like I don't allow myself also in the survival mode to feel this uh, angry sensation of myself, like and it's also strange because actually I even don't judge my parent or my dad in the past was difficult for me to accept his behavior as a
Mhm.
child growing. But then with the time in spiritual awakening, understanding many things, the big picture and everything, I really felt compassion. By the way, he's not even alive anymore. I felt
Mhm.
a lot of compassion, understanding, and no judgment.
Yeah.
Um,
So you are healing a lot, like it's not as it was. And for the sake of time, I have Kira too, on 5 minutes left. The way to leave anger in safety is reminding yourself of the right now story. And then setting limits, reminding yourself of the right now story, and supporting your nervous system to calm down, to go back to safety. This is how it would look like. It would look like, oh, this hurt mommy. No, keep hands to yourself. Mommy feels angry right now. Mommy's gonna take a break in the bathroom, and he might go and follow you and knock the door. You need that break. He's
yeah, I need,
he's knocking the door. He's with his little fingers underneath the door. He's safe. You are telling him, I just need some time to myself. If your daughter is not safe with him outside, then take your daughter and take 2 minutes to take
yes,
a deep breath,
yeah,
support your nervous system to go back to safety, and remind yourself that you are a safe adult and you live in a safe environment. And I can get, like, I know the scratch on the shin and the shoe on the face, that hurts. I don't want to dismiss that. And I want to make you aware as well that it does hurt. And at the same time, the perception that we have in our brain about how much it hurts or how dangerous it was or how unsafe it was is clouded as well through the projection that we're living in childhood. Let me give you an example. If your father was very violent and then he spanked you, that was really unsafe for your life. Your life was on the line when he was that violent because you were dependent on him to live. And then he was hurting you. So that impact lives in your nervous system and your brain. And now when your 4-year-old scratches you, yes, it does hurt, but it's not this kind of like life-threatening situation. It still feels
just
like
to be
life
remembering.
to you, not because of what happened with your son, but because of the projection you are doing right now from the way you were raised. So I'm saying that to say to bring that to your awareness.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know this
yeah.
scratch here hurts, but does it hurt really? Like, is this life-threatening hurt, like how I felt growing up, or is it that I'm projecting as well? Okay, I'm projecting. I'm safe. It's a scratch. It can heal. I feel better in 20 minutes. I'm safe and my children are safe. And then from that safety, you go back to your child and then you parent them. If he's escalated, bring him back to the escalation, the things that we talked last week,
Yes.
co-regulation, space holding, and then you do skill development. I noticed once it's calm, I noticed that when I came to talk to you, you took the shoe off and then you punched me on the face. That's not okay. If you need space, you can say, Mommy, I need space. Or if you feel angry, you say, Mommy, I feel angry. Or you feel frustrated, you say, Mommy, I feel frustrated. Let's practice.
Yeah.
Okay. So number one, sometimes children do things that really we feel physical pain with it. And our children are not our enemies.
Yeah.
They they're not unsafe for us. Our life
Mm,
is not on the line because our 4-year-old scratched us.
mm.
It feels that way because we have that projection. Number
Oh,
two,
yeah.
there are no good nor bad feelings. There are feelings. And
Yeah.
when we allow ourselves to feel the feeling, that's when we reduce the dysregulation. The more you try to stuff it down, to deny it, to push it down, the more dysregulated you're gonna get. And number three, it's okay to take those 3 minutes in the bathroom. That's what's going to help you be a secure parent when you come out.
This will help me.
If
This
you
will
need,
help me.
if you need to take your daughter with you because he's so unsafe, then take your daughter with you. If he's with his little fingers under the door, at least you know he's right there. You know? If he knows he's the kind of kid that you go to the bathroom and he's going to try to run away or break something else, then don't go to the bathroom. I have foster kids who they didn't follow me to the bathroom. I knew they were going to start like doing unsafe things. So I focused on safety first.
Um,
And then I took care of myself. And then once I took care of myself, then I addressed the discipline portion.
mm,
With my twins, I put a baby gate at the door of at the entryway of the kitchen. And I was able to have my breathing and moment of release without them being right next to me while I still kept an eye on them.
yeah, yeah.
So I know that you can find those places.
I will. I will because I think this is very necessary for me, especially in this moment.
Mhm.
I think it's also this the moment where I have also to set this a little bit more healthy and stable boundaries that maybe
Come next
I
week to the live event. It's specifically about this sensory needs.
I will.
Invite as many friends.